Greetings, fellow YouTubers, fellow gamer YouTubers, that is. This is Operative here of Gamers Roundtable. I'm here by a special request of Flystevenhardy for a revisiting of the Dreamcast. One of the systems that I was definitely on my list of doing a revisiting on, but since I got a request for it, I said, why not do it now? So here we go. The system was released on September 9th of 1999. Which in Japan was codenamed Katana at the time, and some had found it very funny that I've read certain forum posts that they had wished they had called the system Katana, because Katana would have been a sweeter name than the Dreamcast, because at the time when you hear the name Dreamcast, it kind of make you wonder, but I never think I had a problem with the name of the system itself. One of the things I found that we all know that about the system had a very short shelf life. Sega eventually went on to as a software-only company. The system was discontinued as far as manufacturing February 14th of 2002, which is Valentine's Day was a very sad day for me, I guess you say, or at least as for a gamer, finding out that one of your favorite systems was being discontinued on that day. So wasn't a very happy holiday for gamers, that is. But the one thing I found interesting is that this system was one of the fastest selling pre-orders that were ever made. This system had a pre-order of 300,000 at the time, which when you talk to the GameStop employees or Babbage's or the Funko Land employees at the time was pretty amazing to them, because they were just astounded how many pre-orders they got for the system. The system went on to sell 225,000 within the first 24 hours of being released. Now, that is crazy at the time. We're talking 1999 here now. We're not talking where nowadays that's not a big deal for, lines around, buildings and waiting for systems, people camping out overnight. That's not a big deal. But one of the things that the system also did, it went on to sell half a million within the first 2 weeks of being released, was pretty successful for Sega. And one of the things I forgot to mention, I was given as pre-order swag from Order for Funkoland was this Dreamcast T-shirt that came along with it. Obviously, as you can see, the shirt seen its better days, but I kept the shirt. It's because, like I said, the system is very dear to my heart. And one of the things about the system is that we all know that the system had a built-in modem in it, which was pretty much unheard of at the time for consoles. So, because it came with a disc that allowed you to browse the web on it as well. And some of the things that also we knew interesting about it was the VMUs. Now, this was pretty unique for me. I thought this was the coolest thing I've ever seen. How many games that you could take, that you could actually play the game at home, take part of the game with you and still work on it somewhere else and bring it back home and use your data that you were working on outside of the game and add it back onto the game later. And this was, I think, a underutilized device. And it's just sad how many just things you could point out about the system that just so underutilized here. I mean, it had one of the first microphones in which you could speak into. But one of the interesting I found out, as we all know, it has the Windows logo on here. The system itself did not have a Windows operating system in it. The operating system itself were on the games themselves. It allowed the developer to add the new features that were needed for the next game or the next game they were making automatically onto the system itself. So we didn't have what we know nowadays, as updates for the system, which normally is like a regular occurrence for us. Normally when you get a game, we used to seeing loading the game up and there's an update. But back then, the system did not, one of the things that people may know or may not know, this did not have a Windows operating system in it. The operating system only was on the games themselves, not in the system. So it didn't have an operating system. So some of the launch titles that came along with the game was Soul Calibur, Power Stone, Ready to Rumble, which I personally was the launch title that I bought at the time, Mortal Kombat Gold, and Sonic Adventures, which was the first games in which we saw Sonic go 3D, which was pretty happy for Sonic fans. But me personally, I never was a really big Sonic guy, but just to play, I remember playing the demo in the store and we found just the graphical power of the system alone amazing. And it's just really sad the system never got to live up to its full potential. Because I mean, everything that we see, I feel to me that the Xbox is what the Dreamcast could have been at the time if given a chance. It just didn't have the software support from the other companies that were needed to go on, because I think maybe some of the bigger companies didn't really think Sega was one of those kind of Atari type of maneuvers where they just would make systems and just move on to the next system if it didn't sell. So what was the reason of supporting them? So without that support from third parties, the Dreamcast system died, and eventually Sega couldn't make hardware, which is pretty sad because I always thought Sega really did really good hardware. And I mean, look at it. I mean, we don't. This thing still works, and it's the way they are made. The systems, like I always said in my previous videos, are constructed and they're built to last. Man, this thing is like a tank. You know, it's really built well. Some of the games I still have here is Jet Grind Radio, one of the first online games for the system, Star Lancer here, and one of the cult favorites, which many I know you know out there, is Shenmue. Now, I play Shenmue. I don't have Shenmue 2, but I did play Shenmue, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And the microphone, as you know, if you see right here, I still have the game Seaman, which I enjoyed also. So it's just, I really don't know how much I can really express my sadness that this system did not go on, or Sega is still not in the hardware making business, because I really feel that they need to be there. I really feel like Sega, we really lost something with Sega going out of there. But, I mean, with Xbox sort of being the spiritual successor, because I personally see that it is, I feel that it is, and some people feel that it is, because if you look at what Sega had planned, tournaments they had planned, stat tracking, the same thing about if you played a wrestling game, they would keep track of who's the top champion of the game itself. All these things that Xbox Live offered us today is pretty much Sega was offering, may I say, for free at the time. Of course, we have to pay for Microsoft. But it's just amazing that this system did not get the love that it should have gotten. And I'm really proud that I still have the system. I'm going to do a part 2 to this video because I just don't think I had enough time within the time in which YouTube gives you to talk about the system. So I will see you on the next video. Hopefully you enjoy this one. Talk to you next time. Happy gaming. See you soon. Bye now.